Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Summit 3 SEA Phase 2. We're now into the winner's bracket round 2, our semifinals for the winner's bracket. Only one team out of the top 8 will come here to land to complete for around $140,000 and rising, and that's before the chest gets released, so you better believe it's going to continue to ramp up. Our first match of the day is Rave versus Mineski, best of 3. This is the big one, GoDz.
Oh yeah, this to me is the two favorites right now. At least the two teams looking the strongest. There's some kind of mystery factor around, I think, the numerical Team 5 ever, but Rave have looked dominant. They got tied 5th place at DAC, maybe kind of outperformed themselves, but either way, they're the best team in SEA right now. Gigabyte Mineski, though, they've been on the up and up. They were the best, as far as the Asia qualifiers goes, they were the best performing SEA team during that qualifier for DAC, even though they didn't make it to the main event.
Yeah, they had that 1,000 GPM tiny game from Bimbo, and well, with that said, guys, the draft has begun. We're going to go ahead and hop into game number 1. Here we go.
Well, SEA, it's going to be over fast, LD. We've only got like 5 days left, and we'll know which team's coming to the summit.
I feel like we just started.
Yeah, it goes
You know, I really love the format we're using this time a lot more so than the last time. Just having every match matters. There's no chance of meaningless group stage games. Yep. The cool thing at the group stage is you get to see more of the matchups, of course, but you know, let's be honest. There's a lot of online tournaments, so there's lots of opportunities to see those matchups in general.
We're
the one downside,
just so
though,
clever,
is
LD. Like, you know,
it ends quickly.
New format, BTS, just how clever are we? Just
I just said I like the format.
I know. I wasn't making fun of you. I was just
put words in my mouth here.
No. I'm putting words in my own mouth. I'm selling out hard right now.
Anyway, well, now that we've sold out, let's talk about the draft here. First overall pick will be the Vengeful Spirit. Nothing too unusual there. Rave going for that Axe Skywrath Mage. Good pick-off potential here. And now Mineski going to go into the Queen of Pain. The Troll gets ignored phase 1. So does the Sniper. The Sniper probably the big surprise that nobody wanted him. Wisp now banned phase 2, so we're not going to see any Tiny Wisp from either team. You know, the one thing that's a little surprising, honestly, to me is seeing this Queen of Pain first phase. It is a strong hero, but at the same time, Axe Skywrath is a very strong duo to shut Quap down.
Yeah, they've got tons of lockdown. I guess Mineski are just going to stick with what kind of wins some games, which is generally the lane dominance, playing these kind of very strong ganking heroes, solo heroes that can dominate lanes. Even going back to the Dota 1 days, this is kind of what I would say kind of summarize the Pinot Dota was the lane dominance. It'd go the double courier, bottle crow. Unfortunately, that hasn't made its way to Dota 2 and doesn't look like it will do so, but it was all about just having huge lane sustain and pushing your opponent out of lane by constant spam and harass. Queen of Pain, one of the kind of quintessential heroes to do that with. So they're going to stick with it, even if Rave may have some answers for it as far as the mid-game goes. Queen of Pain does lane well against the Axe if it is a safe lane Queen of Pain, but more likely it is going to be that mid-Queen of Pain.
Yeah, it definitely could be the safe lane, but like you said, generally speaking, with Mineski, they like to run it mid. Now, Rave going to go ahead and ban out a Beastmaster. It's a hero that's been more popular in SEA lately. That said, I don't really feel like Beastmaster has huge synergy with this Mineski draft so far. Venge already gives you some vision. You're not as reliant on the Hawk. The Queen of Pain doesn't really benefit from the mobility of the Hawk because she already has mobility from Blink, but it is just a generally increasingly stock rising kind of strong off-laner that we see a lot of the teams like to run.
Yeah. So on the Mineski side, we'll see the Wisp and Shadow Fiend ban. So no Wisp Tiny today. Mineski banning out that hero themselves. It was Rave who had the first pick coming out of this ban stage, so they would have had first grabs if they wanted to go for it. And something both teams have shown that they can run is that Wisp. So Rave go anti-mage. Not even waiting to kind of show this as a 4th or 5th pick. 3rd pick right out the bat. Mineski have a lot of options as far as, well, a lot of time as far as finding options to maybe counter and deal with the hero, but feeling confident that this is going to be a good hero. It does match up generally pretty well against the Queen of Pain, although the ultimate, now being pure damage, does give Anti-Mage a few more problems with Queen of Pain, just having that little bit of extra burst damage.
Absolutely, and as far as lockdown goes, they are not exactly chock full of it, GoDz. You've got the Venge stun, pretty easy to just blink dodge that. Quap can build that Hex later on or the Orchid early, but Anti-Mage, of course, with a Manta and a BKB can deal with those at pretty much any stage of the game, if he even needs to. So if you're Mineski now, I guess there's two options here. One is to draft a lineup that can deal with the AM later on, and the other is to try and just dominate this game early.
Yeah, and that's where I think the Beastmaster ban maybe makes a bit more sense, just in like a pushing lineup, stacking the aura with the Vengeful Spirit and going for some kind of a 5-man push lineup. The Troll gets banned out as well, so Battletrans filling a similar role. Looks like with the Earthshaker pick, Mineski are not going to be going for any kind of a pushing lineup. They could have gone for something like an Enigma if they wanted to take that direction with a 5-man push when you get your mech. The Earthshaker suggests it's going to be potentially dominate your lanes, but looking to probably pick up another kind of good late game hero or hero that matches up against anti-mage.
Could even be that. I mean, I don't know if Sniper is really the best hero to match up against the anti-mage, but would give them a very strong laning stage.
Yeah.
That Earthshaker Sniper is good. At that point, you really need like an offlaner that could be the frontline tank. So I'm not sure what the options are. There's a Bristleback out there. He doesn't lane particularly well against anti-mage. But you'll need that like beefy presence up front if you want to go sniper here as Mineski. Yeah, at the same time, Rave still have good catch. So if you get a sniper, you've got the Blink Call, the anti-mage Blink Abyssal maybe later on. So it would be a slightly risky pick.
Jesse Bash likes his Clockwork, I know that. The hero that's still in the pool, which I think could be quite good, is the Phoenix, though. The magic damage, not going to be great against like actually killing an anti-mage, but against everything else in the pool is pretty good, even with the Skyreth Mage there as like a kind of a good zoning support against the Phoenix. End of the day, Skyreth can zone any offlaner, so I look towards Phoenix more, giving them a stronger team fight and some good damage at bringing down an axe. Rave, though, have time a tick, and they're going to go for the Invoker. Ooh, so looks like a mid-Invoker coming out from them.
Yeah, Invoker is pretty good here, actually, I think. If you go for Quas Wex, especially, I doubt we see the Quas Exhort.
Yeah, with
at that point, if they go Quas Exhort, like they can't do anything until Axe gets a blink. That's really the main issue, I think, for this draft.
Do you think that's different for Quas Wex? I feel like Quas Wex takes a long time before he team fights.
But he can like go around finding solo kills pretty early with MP Tornado. We've seen
a
lot of Quas Wex invokers, like they get a rune and they just easily go get 2-3 kills with that EMP Tornado. I think Exhort takes longer to come online. Unless if you have like a Shadow Demon, then it's not the case. You know, something to set him up. But right now, who's your setup for a Sunstrike?
I think it takes longer. I agree it takes longer to come online. I think it has some potential to help at other lanes earlier because of the Sunstrikes, which you offer at like level 2, level 3, but
if you have the I mean it's a little risky though, right? If you don't have setup.
Yeah.
Which
you're not going to be looking to I think most likely we're going to see both teams run like your standard defensive trial lanes. There's not going to be any like 3v3 type lanes, so it looks like anytime you see an anti-mage on the team, you're thinking Quas Wex Invoker, regardless, and you get a lot more utility out of that. So Drow Ranger going to be the Mineski carry. So you got your Revenge Drow, some good physical damage coming out from these two, and Mineski have a lot of right click in the laning stage and beyond. This is something which is really good as far as matching up against the anti-mage.
Drow Ranger, yeah, can end the game early. Well, who's that final core? The Drow being picked now would suggest a ranged carry, or at least a ranged hero might be the way to go. Phoenix still feels like a really good choice. Gives them that team fight potential. Also a hero that can get ahead pretty early. Rave do have the Skyrat, though. That's the one issue. You go Phoenix here, and he may just get completely shut down. But Rave are going to ban it out anyway, just to be safe.
Okay. So
I mean, actually, looking at the fact they have Skywrath, I'm not sure if they really needed to, but it just seems like they know Mineski want to pick these heroes that can dominate the mid game with this Drow pick, and
I think
anything that's strong in the mid game that benefits from the Drow aura might as well ban it out.
They can beat it in lane, but can they beat it in the mid game? And I look at this draft and think maybe not. Like Skywrath Silence Alone's not going to really cut it. And with the Earthshaker Fissure, you're kind of guaranteed that Phoenix and offlane can actually get XP and won't get zoned out. You can make any offlaner work to some extent as far as getting a level 2, level 3 when you have the Earthshaker on your side if you want to do that first fissure block or 2 down there. So no Phoenix. The other option that kind of stands out whenever you see the Drow plus Venge, whatever, I think the Puck works quite nicely. If it's going to be the other kind of way Mineski can go if they want to range here that benefits from the Drow aura.
Yeah, that Witch Doctor ban. So just another strong laning support that Rave may look to go for here. They could maybe go greedy and look for like a Sand King type pick. Would weaken their lanes a bit. Other strong range supports. There's a Ancient Apparition out there, I guess. Could go well with the Axe Invoker duo. Especially if they wanted to run the Sunstrike Invoker. But again, I think it takes a little too long to come online.
Enigma's still in the pool as well if Rave want to go for the jungler.
Yeah.
I think if they go for a jungler, it's more likely to be the Enigma. Gives them that mid-game mech. Armor's going to be very important fighting the right click, so if they're picking something like Sand King, probably want to actually have it be a bit more aggressive early on, which it can do. You get your boots first and go for kills.
It can. Oh, there you go. We'll see how they look to lane it. I mean, like you said, it could be a dual roaming type support.
Yeah.
Could just be AFK in the jungle. As far as their lanes go, they're going to have an Axe off lane, most likely. The anti-mage farming the safe lane, probably the Invoker mid. There is some gank potential here for Mineski. And with the Sand King pick, you don't really have a great defensive support. And now with the TA, well, this goes really well with the Drow. Classic Bimbo hero as well. Okay.
Wow.
I kind of like this TA pick just because it fits well with the Drow. They can take Roche early, something they kind of had with Drow, but not really. It does mean they're going to struggle a bit in the mid-game team fights if they don't snowball, though. Yeah. This is very much about the first 10 minutes now for Mineski.
Yeah, Mineski will be all about the early game lanes, like you say, the first 10 minutes, and then after that it's going to be about the timing when they get their BKBs. BKBs, with the Drow aura damage, they can negate the Invoker and the Sand King, what they can do, and Anti-Mage is not going to be able to fight into Drow, TA, Queen of Pain if they have BKBs. Sure, Axe can get a Blink Call, maybe you kill one of them, but the counter initiation for Mineski is really solid, so...
For me, the big player I'm going to keep my eyes on this game is Oa on the Earthshaker. I feel like he's the most important hero here for Mineski, both to dodge any incoming ganks as well as to set up and potentially get them that first blood on like Chrissy's Invoker mid. So, at least for me, my eyes will be on him. Let's see if he can get the job done here. We'll have a pause. Pinoy Dota, of course. Of all the SEA regions to have pauses, I guess the Pinoy teams, especially the ones actually based in the Philippines, the most likely to need a pause. Those internet connections. But we'll introduce the players now. RR going to be playing the Venge. Jesse Vash will be handling your Drow Ranger for Mineski. Bimbo, or Jay, and the Templar Assassin. Oa taking up the Earthshaker, and that leaves Cuckoo on the Queen of Pain.
Now, Rave, heavy favorites in this best of 3. According to Dota 2 lines, they're 84%. That is a value bet on Mineski if I've ever seen one.
I would take that on Mineski, for sure.
I fully agree Rave are favorites here, but I would say it's maybe around like 70%. So I would say 70% is about right.
70-30, maybe 65-35.
I feel like I'm maybe a bit more biased towards Mineski because we saw them play in their round 1 where they dominated, so it made them look really solid, but... It still feels like, yeah, Rave are definitely the team who come into this one as decent favorites. But 84%, that is... Whew, some bettors may be losing a lot of rares today if Mineski pull the upset.
Yeah. As for this draft, I think in general, I probably favor Rave a bit. It's just the more well-rounded draft. They have good late game. They have really strong mid-game team fight. There aren't great solutions for the anti-mage pick. They have physical damage, but as far as actually ganking him, they're pretty limited. So if I had to say for this game, I would give Rave the edge right now, but that can change quickly. One good rotation from Oa's Earthshaker, they maybe set up a first blood on this Chrissy Invoker, and all of a sudden, things could change. Yeah.
Something worth noting, too, is that Mineski have put Jesse Vash on the Drow Ranger, so this suggests they will be running an offensive trial lane, because Jesse Vash rarely on the carry or like a safe lane farmer. He's your off-lane player. So they're going to put, like... Cuckoo, their mid player, on the Queen of Pain, and then Jay, Bimbo on the TA. Bimbo more likely to go mid, but I think Cuckoo's going to be going from mid to like a safe lane solo. He's kind of their lane dominator player.
So it'll be like a Quap versus Axe. Should go pretty well for the Quap, especially with Drow Aura. And then you have the TA versus Invoker. Probably a TA favored matchup, depending on how much the Skywrath wants to help that lane. Yeah. So the anti-mage, they have potential to win all 3 lanes if they go aggressive. The other cool thing is you can pressure the Sand King in the jungle.
I'm thinking Rave are looking to dodge it, though. Anti-mage already started moving towards top lane. Like, yeah, it's kind of too early to tell, but I think Rave's best move is sending the anti-mage top lane with the Skywrath mage, especially when they see Jesse Vash pick up the Drow Ranger. It would be some next-level stuff from Mineski, suddenly have Jesse Vash playing their safe lane farmer, when that has not been the case for some time, but... I guess you never know. That's the kind of thing which could win you a game if you just confuse your opponents with these kind of mind games. But I think Rave are likely to send anti-mage top, and if he finds the trial lane up there, he just TPs down bottom, says, okay, that was a bad call, but bottom lane I can get good farm with the Skywrath mage or with a support against like an off-lane Drow or Corp or whatever is down there.
Well, this showdown, gods. I'm really hyped for this. I like the draft. Even if I favor Rave, I still think it's cool to see a Drow Ranger strat. I haven't seen many Drow picks lately. Just nice to see the teams continue to mix it up in SA. We have seen a pretty wide variety of picks and play. I mean, we've got Miracle not even really playing traditional carries recently. We've had some... I'm trying to... Yeah, yesterday it hasn't even been like, oh my god, there's a Meepo or something, but it's more just like, it's not like the same shit every game.
We did Corla Shrek, that was pretty cool.
The Corla Shrek
that was almost more exciting than like a Meepo game in the sense that it's really
less,
rare.
Probably less common, or about equally common.
It seems that way. Leshrek is a kind of forgotten gem in some ways. Now, you talk about Oa being the key player for Mineski, agree there, and I think on the Radiant side, it's going to be the Sand as well. Ninja Boogie's gone for first item boots. If you want to try and do well in the laning stage, it's going to come down to Ninja Boogie and his movements around. I don't think Mineski are going to have boots first on their supports. Joe Ranger's not going to have boots, so there's potential for Sand King Skyreth to find kills. Even just Sand King setting up for the Axe. If Axe is solo versus a tri-lane, it's a lane the tri-lane should dominate, but one overextension, one mistake from Mineski, and that's when Ninja Boogie could look to punish them with this boots burrow strike into an Axe call. So
yeah, Rave maybe they have the weaker lanes, sure. If Mineski run this aggressive tri-lane and they get the matchups they're looking for, but Rave have really good roaming support. So like you said, one good rotation from him as well as from Cast could completely alter this laning stage.
Yeah. So yeah, Queen of Pain is headed up top, has a ward as well, so looks to maybe just secure the lane with a lane ward. And we'll see Rave already with the Axe down bottom. So Rave seem to be pretty clued into this offensive trailing coming out. They're going to try and secure this top rune. Normally it's safe for your mid player, Chrissy. Probably still the case here. I guess you could theoretically give it to someone like, I don't know, Ninja Boogie on the Sand King. Get him a fast level 3 so he can then jungle. But this isn't about the Sand King jungle this game. This is going to be about the laning stage, the ganking coming out from Sand King as well as Skywrath. So.
If he comfortably picks up a Blink Dagger, Mineski have already lost the laning stage in the sense that he shouldn't be allowed to comfortably do it. If he does it, it should be because they're losing towers, they're giving up kills elsewhere. Mineski, definitely the team that wants to apply pressure, and I don't think we ever formally introduced Rave, so let's do it quickly now. Jo, on your anti-mage, it will be Cast, the captain, on Skywrath Mage. Chrissy, playing that Invoker mid. Ninja Boogie on the Sand King, and that does leave in the safe lane Ryo on the Axe.
Yeah, so a lot of camps blocked over in the Radiant jungle, but that is not where Rave are really headed. Ninja Boogie's going to block the mid lane, but it's going to be kind of looking to go where he's needed. I don't know if he's even going to really commit to a lane right off the bat. He's going to see if there's kill potential in the mid lane, which there really isn't against a TA, and potentially look to gank someone like the Queen of Pain with the Skyreth's assistance. But
yeah, the boots first build for sure does suggest that earlier movement around the map.
I wonder what Oa's going to get up to, though. He's not really needed for the fissure block down bottom.
They do not have a smoke on the Venge, so... has the gold for it, but I think wants to get our early boots. Maybe something Oa picks up later on, but he may just play more like a defensive, kind of protect J mid type role.
Yeah. And unlike an Earthshaker with a Shadow Fiend or a Sniper, there's not much kill potential with a TA, so... He can protect the mid lane, but he's not going to be setting up kills, which is good news for Rave. They don't have to worry about their mid getting ganked too much.
As soon as he sees the Skywrath top, he's probably going to decide that's the lane where he's needed the most, even, as there's already a blink onto Cuckoo off the bat. No mana burn just yet, though. He's going to take a pounding here. Blinks to the north, and now can turn and fight Cast, but isn't going to win this fight. He needs to back off soon. This Skywrath will continue to have Arcane Bolts pumping out. Cuckoo, this is danger that you're playing with, man. One more auto attack and a nuke, and he's dead, and... In the meantime, though, GoDz, Ninja Boogie, Courier Snipe shenanigans in the mid lane. Mighty Boar could go down with the bottle. He's got the boots. This could be trouble. One auto attack can burrow strike forward to get that second if he wants it. Not opting to do so. He does allow the bottle to be delivered. I mean, easy to second guess, but I feel like in that case, maybe just using it for that little extra mobility to prevent the bottle from being delivered is the play. Still, he snipes the Courier. Yeah. Good move there by Ninja Boogie.
Big boost of gold going the way. Top lane, a bit of a fight. Fissure comes out. Cast may give up first blood. The blink forward. Cast goes down. Anti-Mage, no return kill initially, and can't really keep up to the Queen of Pain. He's going to have to back off, so first blood does go Mineski's way. At least managing to salvage something out of losing the Courier in the mid lane.
Yeah, seems like that single point precision arm may have assisted there a little bit, just giving him that extra bit of damage to go out. He will slow down Jo here, but he's got to be careful. Entirely relying on Oa's Fissure to keep him alive. And Oa's Fissure, actually, he likes the mana for it now, though he's about to get it. 3 heroes from Rave, making their way on top. The trees have been eaten. Only takes those 2, apparently, to worm your way through. I thought you needed to eat this one as well, but I was wrong about that.
Cuckoo, yeah, doesn't have a salve, just as the Tangos up. He has Earthshaker with Tangos as well, so has like 7 Tangos between the 2 of them. More than enough to heal back up, but...
He could even buy his bottle. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure why he's not just yet. Although, Cuckoo, got to be careful here, my friend. He's... Oh, my goodness. He's really playing with fire.
Oh, the Arcane Bolt's coming.
It follows you after the blink. Cuckoo, please. The Tango, just enough.
Oh,
that is so not worth. That is so not worth. Like, playing it that close, very, very questionable from Cuckoo, but he will live. So.
Yeah.
Still, he's forced off the lane now because of it entirely, and that means Jo will get a lot more farm.
And Skywrath still is pretty good for mana, has a clarity or 2, and is going to be pretty good in this top lane. So this top lane going pretty well for for Rave as far as getting anti-mage as much CS as possible. It's Drow Ranger, though, topping the CS right now. Bottom lane has been just uncontested free farm. Ryu's kind of just tried to farm his jungle, but there's no camps there. He can't get anything out of the lane.
And they have the Sand King who needs the camps as well.
Yeah.
He is stacking, but, I mean, who's taking it? Only one of these two can.
All it takes is one Venge stun, and with the Drow Frost arrows, that's a dead Axe. So Axe can't even really go up anywhere away from his tower down bottom. So this is actually pretty bad for Rave as far as bottom lane is concerned.
The one player who's playing really well individually is Chrissy. Still keeping up with the TA with Drow Aura. 11 and 3. He is going Exort build, which helps, but even so, you just look at the damage when Refraction's up, and it's not even comparable. So, well played by Chrissy, but he's going to need to continue that.
This looks like a dead Venge with the Sunstrike.
Has the stun, but no, not even going to get it off. The Incinerator, they'll bring that Venge down off the bat. Nicely done. Good pick off there. They really need these considering the jungle's warded off so much. If you're not getting those kills, you're just getting nothing on this Sand King right now.
And if you're going the Exo Invoker, you can't just do this to farm. Like, for one thing, you come online too late, as we kind of mentioned, but for another thing, it's you're getting the Exort to help your laning stage with Sunstrike. So if you're just sitting in your lane farming with the Exort build, that's really bad for Rave as far as their lanes are concerned. They need to use this Burrow Strike whenever possible to set up Sunstrikes and get themselves some kills.
Courier, of course, has since respawned, so your TA will be able to Bottle Crow now as she sees fit, or Shaker gonna ramble around towards the mid lane. But Axe does continue to struggle here, bottom gods. Despite that kill, really not approaching the creep wave. 1 CS, there are 0 stacks aside from this camp, which will probably be going to the Sand King. We'll see. Maybe they just sack Ninja Boogie instead, but they need to continue to find these kills. They're gonna move their way bottom with the smoke. It is nighttime right now, so Dire Team not going to have the easiest time scouting out this incoming gank. They start with a concussive shot. They're going to try to dive the tower, but RR could interrupt the chain of initiation, and Rave unable to go.
As well, so that would have been a disaster if they'd gone in. They may turn this one around now. Ryu in trouble. There's some chain stun potential.
Yeah, no, O is just in the perfect position to punish this. Hasn't been spotted from the tree line. He'll throw out the fissure. Probably wanted to wait until Rave committed a little more, but
still good damage.
Either way, they're forced back.
Yeah, you do damage, and all you use is one fissure out of that. So
and they missed another stack opportunity for that with these both supports as well as the Axe off in the lane. Nobody's there to continue bolstering this big camp.
Yeah, top 3 last hitters all on that Dire side, so the lane stage has gone incredibly well. The TA has not won mid lane. They're pretty much even on CS, though, which is something you'd maybe expect your TA to do a bit better, but Chrissy going for the Exort build. The one build which can at least match up a bit better versus the TA. The Quaswex is just a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, still you look at the damage, and TA sitting at like 140 with Refraction on. Should be able to out-CS, but as Refraction gets leveled up, he's about to get level 4. That's where this Invoker will really struggle. Still a ways off until he gets the double Forge Spirit. But yeah, Chrissy's individual play has been extremely impressive for Rave, and I think he was the player who stepped up the most at DAC compared to where he had been prior to that event.
Yeah. So Sand King now, at least as his level 3, has 2 points in Sandstorm, can start his jungle farming, and looking to get one last stack before he does so, although not going to make it. But this is at least going to be the starts of the work on his Blink Dagger. And his Blink is going to be really fast. He's already got 900 gold with that kill, so we're looking at like a 9-10 minute Blink Dagger. He's going to have to be the big tempo controller. Blink Burrow Strikes around the map with the Sunstrike follow-up. There is a lot of kill potential for Ninja Boogie. This is going to be his game to win or lose for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this top lane, gods. You did mention that Mineski had the 3 top CSers, but it's by a very small margin. Yeah. As the anti-mage levels up, he actually does it really well against Queen of Pain. She can't kill him too easily. Once you get that Rain of Health, and he, on top of it has the Rain of Regen, difficult to zone him out of lane, and he can go blow for blow with her. If he blinks on her, she is running away, not trying to trade with that mana burn. So I think one of those matchups where you look at it on paper and Quap should dominate at level 1 or 2, but when you go much beyond that, if the anti-mage has a little help, he actually does well. They're not going to swing him towards bottom, though. I need to give him the protected safe lane farm. In the meantime, your Sand King trying to set up something on mid, maybe expecting a gank here. But they have vision of the supports.
And there are traps here. If he walks forward, he may walk on top of that trap and kind of reveal his position here. I'm trying to bait in Chrissy. It seems with Chrissy really low, he thinks, okay, Jay's going to die for this. With Phase DD, they think they're actually baiting with Chrissy, because Chrissy's super low in HP, and against a Phase DD TA, that's a short kill if there's no stunners behind. But Jay, he's kind of clued in. If your Invoker's sitting at the mid lane with that low on HP against a Phase DD TA, there's someone behind him, and that was
It's
exactly
the Venge who may start this off, though. RR swinging around. Jay looking for the Sideblade Splash. Not getting it just yet, but It's all about this veg stun. If they can get it off with 1 or 2 auto attacks, Chrissy will be done for. Jay swinging around through the tree line. I did not get vision on the Sand King yet, I don't think. But more backups inbound as well. Axe also prepared to join the fray there. So they have moved the anti-mage bottom, but I feel like this... Oh, now they found the opening on Chrissy. Here comes your venge stun to start. So much for that bait. Down he will go. Invoker down. He did manage to purchase his Midas first, though.
That was a really nice side blades hit. Jay hit him with a DD side blades before the Venge even came in and got him down nice and low there. So well played there.
And he also, at the same time, the Invoker does buy his Midas. It's an 8-minute Midas versus a Drow Ranger TA. That is still very impressive from Chrissy.
Still one less hero up at this time. Mineski are pressuring lanes. Top lane T1 tower getting really low. Bottom lane, they're on the tower as well. So this is where like these deaths, I think it's not the biggest deal for the Invoker as far as his personal farm goes, but it's just more control for Mineski. They're the ones kind of pressuring all 3 lanes right now.
Looks like they may want to prep here at the top lane. Cuckoo has mana to scream this wave if he wants and just push it into the tower. Then they could look for the dive on Ryo. Currently don't have vision of him, but they're about to get it. Somebody needs to buy him a new monitor. This is like every game now. He's having monitor issues.
Boogie. I know.
Help him out, guys.
Hit him up.
Michael Ross needs your help.
Well, hopefully not too much longer here. Looks like things have gone by pretty smoothly so far, knock on wood, but...
Is this wood?
You tell me.
I don't think it... I think it is, but it's like...
I guess that's a Brian question.
It's like cheap wood. It's not like good, hard, like, you know...
It's on a fern tree or something, you know?
Exactly. It's not bamboo.
That's our next studio.
They are looking for the stab here on Ryo.
Yeah,
Wave got pushed in, and they're ready for the jump. This probably is the death of Ryo. No, he gets up the call on Cuckoo. He gets dunked. Cuckoo, please.
He was
very
aggressive.
bold movement there by him.
Yeah, but just a slight misstep. You can't let the axe call you like that. Bad mistake, but it happens every now and then. I don't know. Try and be nice to him, but yeah, that's just a flat mistake.
It shouldn't happen, but yeah, like you said, mistakes happen. Unfortunately, a costly one, because not only do they give up the kill, they miss out on an easy kill for themselves, and now Axe,
he's suddenly almost
1,700 gold. The Sand King's about to get his blink as well. 1,700 gold on both.
That's your comeback mechanic for Rave, and I say comeback mechanic. They're actually not that far behind here in the early game, but things could be a lot worse. If they lose a tower or two, they were likely to do at the top lane, if Ryu dies there, suddenly you're giving up another kill or two, you give up the top tower, someone like your Queen of Pain then TP's bottom, and you lose your bottom tower, and it's suddenly Mineski with a 5k gold lane. So even just a solo kill like that has big implications over over basically Mineski's kind of snowball potential and where things stand right now.
All right, Cass going to hang back here bottom, but pressure will start to mount. They haven't done that much tower to the bottom tier 1. It's more top that's been under heavy duress. Mid also pretty healthy. For a Drow Ranger lineup, 10 minutes in, no towers. This is around that time where you really want to start taking them out. Jo will take some harassment here from a scream. Will be forced to blink away. They're trying to bait him in closer with this axe, but not taking the bait.
He's getting no farm. He TP's bottom, doesn't get much farm down there. Goes top, not finding much farm up top, but at least getting passable CS. Wherever he goes, he's getting a few CS here or there. He's going for very early game items. Double ring. He's got a Belt of Giant Strength for some early treads. Just looking to make it so he doesn't actually die and can actually kind of keep up as much as possible.
Yeah, ultimately, this is very likely to be the treads Vlad's Battle Fury. At the same time, he just buys, like you said, the cheapest possible components along the way.
You'll get a much slower Battle Fury because you buy this Ring of Regen, you buy the Belt of Giant Strength, rather than go for like a Brown Boots Battle Fury.
But if you die once, then this has paid for itself.
Yeah, exactly. So, top tier 1 tower goes down uncontested. For Rave, they haven't got their blinks yet. Axe and Sand King both close.
It's actually 2. They also got the tower bottom.
Oh yeah, that's a big boost of gold for Mineski, but it's something that Rave are just not in a position to kind of defend or change. They're waiting very much on these 2 blink daggers, which are coming soon, so they're going to have to fight as soon as they get these, but Mineski are going to be well ahead on the economy battle at that point.
The game really is going to swing on the use of the blinks. If Mineski anticipate them, Earthshaker is there with his fissure to interrupt the chain of initiation. It's very likely Mineski snowball off of that, get a kill or 2, take the Roche, threaten tier 2s, and completely control the game. Should the ganks work, this game could almost immediately turn back to an even score.
This is even with the 2 blinks coming up, it's still very much kind of in Mineski's court. They're stealing Ancient Sacks, they're pressuring lanes. One of the big things they can try and do is take Roshan, because having an Aegis on your side is one of the best ways of dealing with the double blink dagger. They're going to look to try and jump and burst down whoever's in the front lines, but if that hero, like a TA or a Quap, has an Aegis, it just gives you that extra life, and suddenly you've used your blink call or your blink burrow strike just to get a hero with Aegis, and Mineski win the ensuing fight. So Aegis on the Mineski side is something that's going to be hard to prevent from Rave, because there's a TA, there's Drow, there's Vengeful Spirit. At the same time, it's going to be really problematic to try and get something done with these blinks when there is an Aegis.
Oh, nice ward by RR. He gets eyes on Cast. Just needs him to walk a little bit closer. That Venge stun is prepared. I don't know if these two can really do it alone.
It's bottom lane, though. Blink Burrow Strike. They're going to bring down the Drow Ranger.
Just bought a Shadow Blade, but didn't get used to use it. In the meantime, Queen of Pain ult comes out mid. Mystic Flare will be mostly tanked by RR. The Fissure actually helping to keep Crizzy alive. Not your best Fissure from Oa. Scream is enough. They get the counter kill. A 1-for-1, an Invoker for a Drow. Even trades, I think, are pretty good here for Rave, considering the gold deficit.
Yeah. I think for Rave, it's just stabilized, and the entire time Anti-Mage is being left alone, so he gets up to his treads. TP's bottom lane, which is completely empty. This is the timing where Mineski walk into Roshan. So far, undetected, and no real signs of movement that direction from Rave, although there is an Axe near the mid lane. You could get there pretty fast. It just feels like, with an Anti-Mage on your side, this is just not something you can stop if you're Rave. As much of a problem as the Aegis is going to be, how do you stop it?
Yeah, they did commit the epicenter bottom as well, so it's a big chunk of their team fight now removed. In the meantime, Jesse Vash unveiling his new shiny Shadow Blade.
An interesting little pickup.
It's one of those items where it can help you. Uh-oh. Hold that thought. Mid lane, there's a blink jump in from Ryo, but he whiffs on the call initiation. Can't even use it as he was out of range. Ninja Boogie will be the follow-up here, but the Fissure is the real follow-up. Cancels that Sand King Sandstorm. They swap him into the tower. They'll bring him down. They also interrupt the Axe. Getting a 2-for-0. Oa coming up huge there with that Fissure. 2 for none. And now Sunstrike maybe turns this one. Not quite enough damage. Fortunately for Cuckoo, sitting on the strength treads. In the meantime, Jesse Vash swings it from the side. He brains down Jayo, who journeyed towards mid. Not what you want from the Anti-Mage. You want him to be avoiding fights, not coming to them, and certainly not dying.
That was something different and unexpected from Mineski. They gave up, stopped Roshan, realized there was a fight opportunity at mid, and the Shadow Blade being picked up at that timing, they wanted to try and use the Shadow Blade to get a kill or two and fight with their item advantage. And Jay says, okay, I'll come mid lane and help secure some kills. And now, with an even bigger lead, they go back towards Roshan to finish things off.
Rave want to fight this Rosh. They are going to smoke, but this ward, I believe, spotted at least one hero.
Yep.
It was close. I think Ninja Boogie could have been right behind the tree line, but it is too late either way, GoDz. That said, Rave have a really good team fight. Maybe they can catch some heroes out, find some easy kills. Jesse Vash, the one going bottom right now.
He can kill some of these heroes with the Shadow Blade, but he can't really kill the Anti-Mage until he gets more points in the Gust.
Yeah,
so
I mean more for Rave. Oh, they're trying to go. Blink. Call comes out. Sunstrike to follow it up, and he'll get chopped. Nicely done by Ryo.
Good burst, and
TP actually gets canceled by RR.
that's something which Mineski want to be careful that they don't give too much. That's where I feel like the Shadow Blade, it's quite kind of gimmicky. It could work here or there, get a kill, but big picture-wise, I think this is like you just tank up as a Drow Ranger and you 5-man with the Aegis. Staying alive is the one thing you can do to prevent these blinks from getting anything done. If you have enough survivability so that the blink, burrow strikes, epicenters, axe call don't kill you, so something like a Sanjin Yash into a BKB or even the Skadi build we've seen from some Drow Rangers lately, I think your 5-man is just going to destroy Rave and take towers. But
Jay is so fat.
oh,
Deso
wow.
complete at 15 minutes.
Goodbye,
2-0-1.
towers.
Might have gotten the Roche last hit. Oh, that's disgusting. He's hitting for 200 a pop with minus, what is it? It's 15 armor. Just from the TA. Not even counting the Venge. Brutal.
He's really been one of the stand-up players, too. Like, he's had some kind of periods where he wasn't doing too well. Top lane, they find a kill on the Anti-Mage with the Shadow Blade Gust, I guess. There we go. Can't do it alone, but with a Queen of Pain with you, you sure as hell can.
Now they have an Orc and all the items coming out here. RR will pay as he overextends a bit towards the mid lane, but they commit a Mystic Flare. It's only a Venge. Not the biggest deal by any means.
And Cuckoo with an Invis Rune poking around in the top river.
He may find the Skywrath.
There's a lot of Radiant Sentries nearby, though, so good chance he walks past something.
Run away, Icarus. You don't want to be here. You fly too close to that sun. You might get burnt. Well, for now, GoDz, Rave, it feels like momentum is being halted pretty successfully. In fact, Jo, isn't even going to go Battle Fury first. He's going Vlad's first. That is truly a sign of the times. Rave feeling like he's not going to be allowed to split push. There's the Shadowblade Drow. There's going to be a Blink probably next on Jay. Well, no, actually goes BKB. But they already have the Shadowblade Drow. They'll have the Blink Earthshaker fairly soon. And they have their Orchid Queen of Pain. So the Battle Fury first is probably just not a possibility.
And it feels like he won't even go for it as his item after Vlad's. I think he'll want
Maybe
the
Vanguard.
Manta. I think the Manta against the Queen of Pain Orchid. And it just allows you to be more of a fighting anti-mage because you have the illusion. So if you go in, you can actually fight the TA, burn Refraction very quickly with Refraction, and then burn her mana, which is one of the things which TA is very precious for a TA.
At the same time, it will be tough for an anti-mage to fight this game. It's really about the physical damage, not the magic, and they have a lot of it. Drow hitting for like over 200, your Queen of Pain, actually all of the ranged heroes besides the Venjar. And that's with minus 15 armor coming from the TA alone. Another, what is it, minus 13 coming from the Venge. That's a total of minus 28 armor between these two. Even with the Vlads, if this AM just takes like one auto attack from the TA, is practically dead.
The Vlad's armor is...
it's just pitiful in comparison.
It really is. It's not going to be a solution.
Forget fighting. They're just going to push. They're going high ground here. There's a tier 2 to take... Actually, there's a tier 1 to take mid. There's a tier 2 to take top and mid.
You've got to
screw it. Mineski looking to just blast Rave out of this game number 1. And Tower's dropping. There's no glyph. They committed it earlier. Oh, no. They got to fight like right now, and they can't go in Bimbo. It's got to be somebody else. The Aegis is still up. All of a sudden, it's a huge sense of urgency for Rave. Where's that initiation coming from? They're just going to let the racks fall. What a move by Mineski.
I mean, I'm looking at this like, Rave, you got to go. But I'm like, how do you go? It's just a level 1 epicenter. So importantly, Ninja Boogie not having that level 2 ulti, that's a kind of big boost in your damage generally when you're Sand King. But no one else ready to fight. Jayo's not fight ready. Chrissy isn't. He's only now got his Necro level 2. Necro 1 is pretty useless. And
Oa's positioning there, like, how do you you have a Venge swap and you have the Earthshaker, both sitting super far back. It's such a difficult lineup to go on one hero against.
And even Jesse Vash, like, he isn't even hitting the racks most of the time. It's just a solo TA with Aegis. They just know this TA has Aegis. The only thing that Rave can maybe do is blink Call with the Burrow Strike Epicenter and use everything they have to kill a TA, but then you have the second life. So, puts Mineski in a fantastic position. They take a racks. Next time they go, they don't have to have an Aegis if they have the TA BKB. They can do a similar thing with the BKB on Jay, but to be safe, they may even wait for the next Roshan, even if it is 2-3 minutes from now. They've got such a big lead.
Anti-Mage isn't going Battle Fury. You got all the time in the world, and even if he is, it's a very late one. Honestly, you could wait for the next stages, wait until it's about to expire, and then go. And unless Mineski just start feeding, there is no way that Rave are going to catch up from an economic point of view. Aggressive Ward was planted down bottom as Jesse Vash makes his move top, but Ninja Boogie is baiting this one. In fact, Jesse Vash is running past that. Looks like he's not even going for Chrissy yet. He wants to scout out some of these other heroes that could be lurking behind him. We will have a very quick pause here, I hope, as RR currently experiencing lag. Unfortunate timing.
Well, for Mineski, this is... They'll play things slowly. They'll make sure things are good and ready to go. They're looking like this is their game 1 to lose. Just not enough they can do. Chrissy gets going on. The Gust going to come out
Epi's coming in, though. This could be big. Gets Jesse Vash. Burrows towards Cuckoo. They make it a 1-for-1 in the end, though. They were unable to protect that Invoker fully.
Importantly, Sand King now level 11, so has the level 2 ulti. Won't be up for a couple minutes, but at least an important milestone for your Sand King to get if you want any chance of a comeback this game.
They are maybe trying to set up here on Cuckoo, but they don't actually currently know if he's at the tower. He blinks forward onto cast. He gets called, though. Wasn't expecting the axe in the tree line, and he may be punished for the silenced Mystic Flare. 2 kills now for Rave, bringing down the Drow as well as the Queen of Pain. Mineski do have to be careful here, GoDz. Don't want to be feeding too many freebies. That 1 kill, a 1,700 gold swing, a 2,000 experience change.
Yeah, none of those kills going to single-handedly turn the game, but they're the kind of thing which will add up. You give a few more to Rave, you give a tower to Rave, you somehow just... It's a long 3-minute Roshan respawn, let's say, and all of a sudden Rave have all this time for Anti-Mage to actually finish his next item, for Invoker to have a Necro 3, for your Sand King to get a Veil or something. Your Axe is going to have a Blade Mail, and just getting some more key levels and experience and being able to push out lanes, get some more map control. That's something Mineski have to be worried about at this point, but They are working on their BKB on the Queen of Pain now as well, so they're going to have their second BKB coming soon. Jesse Vash, it looks like, is also going. They're going triple BKB.
They saw RR moving this way. They had this forward way back in the Dire jungle, and they will catch him out with the Blink Burrow. He's tanky, though. Look at all that plus armor. Their auto attack's barely enough to get him into dunk range. They will secure the kill again. This time, though, it's Avenge. As much as giving up freebies isn't ideal for Mineski, if they're not giving up cores, not the biggest deal. At this point, GoDz, it's just all about waiting for that next Roshan and holding on to towers until then.
Having Aegis with triple BKB, I don't know if they have the triple BKB at that exact time, but they'll have
at least double, it looks like. Quap is very close.
Yeah, and Jesse Vash, he's keeping this bottom lane pressured up. May even get a range Rex, which not a huge objective, but it's still an objective nonetheless, not to mention a good chunk of gold. So, just getting what they can. Meanwhile, Rave's just trying to work on a tier 1 tower top, which they will get, but it's mid lane. Jay's applying pressure elsewhere on the map.
Oh, this tower just gets slaughtered. They are setting up with an Epi, though. Maybe going to try to go on Jay here. He didn't BKB in time. Sunstrike coming out. BKB will be too late. They get the TA. The tower is not taken. In the meantime, your Axe killed off by Jesse Vash solo bottom. Getting at least something small in return as a dunk comes out onto Jay along with the Quap bolt over the top. They'll get a kill on the anti-mage. However, they will lose in exchange their Earthshaker. A bloody mess. Nice deny here by Ninja Boogie. A Blake forward from Cuckoo. Going hard in the paint onto Cass. They'll bring him down. They want Ninja Boogie too. Swap out from the bench so she can get off that stun, but she's not in range. Sandstorm used. Sentry Ward dropped the 2-hero burrow. Then the jump back from your Sand King. Great moves through the fight. Now they're forced to TP out. Death stopping both TPs, but in the end they will make it out.
Mineski playing a pretty flawless
on one, not on the
19 minutes of Dota, and the last 3 minutes have been
Slop City.
Yeah, not your best Dota from Mineski. They're still getting objectives. They're just trading unnecessarily, but they're in such a position where it's not really going to hurt them too much. And that was a trade where it was almost an even trade, even though it didn't have to be. Like, they gave up a few too many kills. The TA, I don't know. I mean, the TA dying there is something you just have to really recognize that. A Sand King with an Epi Burrow Strike followed by a Sunstrike is going to kill you in that position.
I just have to keep on saying, though, even though these trades look nice for Rave on paper and in terms of gold, they are pretty nice. They've now plateaued the Mineski lead, but where's your comeback mechanic? Jo has Treads and a Vlad's. I don't see Invoker, Sand King, and Axe carrying this against the triple BKB, unless Mineski just go on the feed train as 5. You know, like giving up the kills here, there is one thing, but there's nobody really huge. There's no hard carry really taking advantage of this. Jo continues to rack up the deaths, 0 and 3, and his CS is underwhelming, 97 compared to the 130 plus of every single Mineski core.
All Rave can keep doing is jumping and trying to burst down heroes before they're able to pop BKB. They can't jump these squishy support to the back lane too. They've got to kill off your TA, your Queen of Pain on the front lines, and do so before they get a chance to BKB.
Honestly, I wouldn't even mind seeing maybe a Linked Sphere pickup here or there. As Ninja Boogie will get caught out by a Shadow Strike, a Scream, a Fissure. Missing uphill, they try for the deny, Jo. Cheeky little
I saw
move.
the blink hit, I'm like, oh, there's a third here to come. Like, wait a second.
What?
That's his teammate.
Well, that might be the Roshan. No Sand King around the pit. It has respawned.
Yeah, no Epicenter.
And with this Aegis, Mineski can zero in on a Game 1 victory. They were, what was it, 16% to 84% underdogs on Dota 2 Lounge. And I still think even with this loss, it's at least 50-50 if Rave go on to drop this game. If not even slightly Rave favorite in spite of it. But Mineski showing a lot of promise here in Game 1, GoDz. They're now going to push through mid and look to take this win.
Yeah, they're smoked up, and I don't even think they need to get something done with this smoking. They're just going to look to probably start poking and prodding at the high ground. Has they got their third BKB at Drow range coming out on the courier, so they're going to wait out on the courier probably a little bit longer. But the big thing is, use a BKB early just while you're right-clicking the tower before you even get jumped, just so you don't get hit by that insta-call or Burrow Strike. Because Rave have good counter BKB heroes as far as their stuns and the call all being instant.
Oh, RR. Oh. If that's a level 2 swap, they get a kill there. Yeah. He actually, Ninja Boogie. Careful, my friend.
The other good news is it's daytime, so getting vision of these heroes, as long as you're on the high ground, is very easy to do.
Space created, though. Echo Slam coming out from Ola. He finds the jump. They'll bring down 2, and in a matter of seconds, the Rax Maymouth, BKB galore from Mineski. They may give up some
he got
kills
the silence. He didn't even silence the epicenter.
Oh, nicely
done.
That
Observer Ward spotted the Sand King in the bottom lane, and Queen of Pain comes in with the
They
Orchid.
did commit all of their BKBs, though. The safe play for Mineski here, even though they forced out the Epi, is just to back off, wait for the BKB cooldowns, and then go again.
Yeah, with Epi on cooldown,
they get 2 kills. They force out the buyback. Like They could go now, and they may still win that fight, but there's really no need to do it. Your safe play is just to wait.
Yeah, without an Epicenter, there's very little damage, but just a Burrow Strike. There's no Mystic Flare as well, so they're going to swing top, get the Tier 2 tower, and they'll have BKBs coming up fairly soon before the Sanking Epicenter. That's the big thing here. 80 seconds on your Epicenter. They'll have BKBs when Sanking does not have ulti.
Big plays from Cuckoo. I guess the ward got de-warded afterwards.
Yeah,
but
it got taken out.
still, the damage is done. Rave are going to take the fight at this tower. This is not something Mineski will expect. Fissure comes out. Blink call there on two. They get the Vend, so there's no defensive swap. Quap will melt. Now Bimbo going in. He'll get down Cast, though. He looks for Ninja Boogie. He's going to slice through his armor. Finishes him down to the point where he's got to just turn tail and run. They lose the axe. It's a dieback for him. And Mineski now corner Rave. Force out the GG. Boost ya on Mineski. Very impressive game one.
Very solid, and just going for their lane dominating draft. And I think Rave got to go back to that third pick anti-mage against a team who like to pick these lane dominators. The Queen of Pain and Venge were already revealed at that point, and then they just moved into the TA and Drow Ranger. Their physical damage, even if it goes late game, even if Mineski didn't dominate the early game as hard as they did, they had ways of dealing with an anti-mage. To me, Mineski outdrafted them, and in more ways than one there. That was just something where I think Rave got a bit too greedy, and the anti-mage pick really was a bit foolish, maybe, in hindsight.
It was very tough to lane it. That was for damn sure. And I just have to say, it's not just the draft, though. Mineski also had to play this well to win it. The two Blinks come online. They could have just started feeding kills, falling apart, but good item selections, good team decision-making for the most part. They played a little bit too aggressive, perhaps, when they had that lead, but part of what it did was it denied the anti-mage farm. He was dying repeatedly. So even if you're, going 2 for 1 here or there, but you still have your Midas on your TA, you're still taking all the outer towers, you're still out farming them during that time.